Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Fulsham Gamer. This is a new channel for me, just focused on war games and maybe some other type of strategy games here and there. But with this first episode on my channel, we're going to focus on Stalingrad 42 by Wargame Design Studio. Now, I am no hardened veteran with these sort of games, so I'm still learning. I got the curiosity, dare say I got the courage, and I'll just be honest, I'm obsessed with maps and unit movements. This channel isn't just about crushing the enemy and winning grand victories for myself, but it's about learning history, and I really hope my viewers enjoy that as each episode is uploaded of certain game sessions, like what does a unit type look like? What are they equipped with? How does the logistics work on these certain battlefields or scenarios? What does it take to break up a division? Aspects like that is what I want to bring to the table with this channel, and I hope you all enjoy it for that. The topics that these games cover fascinate me. I've had a passion for history since I was a kid, and a lot of that is due to my father and older brother who made that passion come alive and kept it strong for me. So with military history in particular, like for this channel, I just love it. So I can't wait to dive into this, and I hope you all enjoy what you see. And if you like what you watch, leave a comment, subscribe, and give me ideas of what other games I could possibly cover or other titles by Wargame Design Studio. I also plan to do episodes from the early Combat Mission series and the Combat Mission 2 series, and we'll just go from there. So hope you all have a good time. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we are going to begin with Stalingrad 42, as I mentioned. Now, I wanted to start off with this campaign with this certain title from Wargame Design Studio, because the Stalingrad campaign, Operation Fall Blow, is very special to me. Like, I think since I was about, I would say 15 years old, 16 years old, I was starting to get more and more into history, and especially military history from the Second World War and the Battle of Stalingrad and the whole drive, the attempt to seize the Caucasus was very fascinating to me. I mean, the Eastern Front in general, and as well as so many other fronts, but at that time, at that age, I was really zeroed in on the Army Group South and their attempt to extend the front southern the Soviet Union. So it's just really neat, and I feel like this would be pretty cool to start off with. So here we are on Scenario 1, Latashanka. The Volga is reached. Date, August 23rd, 1942. It is an 8-turn scenario designed by Saunders and Blackie, and it is a small map, relatively, or small scenario, should I say. 50 kilometers west-northwest of Stalingrad. So this is the German Sixth Army attempting to come in directly from the west as they just crossed the Don River, I believe. So here's the scenario briefing. On August 21st, the German 51st Corps established 2 bridgeheads over the Don near Luchinsky and Vetiachi. These were rapidly secured so that about midday on August 22nd, pontoon bridges had been built and the 16th Panzer Division was rolling across the river. The next morning, the armored spearhead rolled east over the sun-baked steppe towards the Volga. They received massive Luftwaffe support along the route, reached the river late in the afternoon, cutting a corridor across a 40-mile stretch of land between the 2 great rivers. Designer notes, the scenario is loosely based on this event. So I think I have this pulled up somewhere, but if we look at this, so here's Stalingrad. And this is where we will be. We had just crossed the Don River right here. This is where we are. So we had just crossed, and Stalingrad's right here. And we're going to push directly east and secure that if possible. I'm pretty sure that's what the objective is. So let's get started. Recommended rules, default. So everything should just be on default. We'll have the Russians with fog of war, obviously. And let's get started. Man, these maps are just gorgeous to look at. I love it. So here we are at dawn. Air units are available. Wireless intercepted. Okay, so they intercepted. Oh, we intercepted some of their transmissions. Ooh. See, I've attempted to record this scenario a few times, and I've had difficulties with my recording, so this is like my third attempt. It's been so frustrating, but not once have I had this happen before, where we intercepted Russian wired communications. So we pinpoint 2 spots where these transmissions have come from. So that's pretty interesting. But they're unknown. Clearly must be an HQ unit. So that's interesting. That is interesting. So I'm excited. So here we are. If we zoom out, here's a larger picture. This is pretty good. So Stalingrad's around here. We have Ryonok. We have Olovka, Gumrak, Rasoshka, Baburkin. I'm trying to pronounce these best I can, so if I mess up, I'm sorry. Borodin State, Kuzmichi, Tatardich, Dried Creek, or, yeah, it's a gully. Okay. And we have a rail track all along here. These kind of grayish silver linings, those are railways. So that would be important to secure, but our objectives, as you can see with these flags, 50 points, Borodin State, Karachi, Kuzmichi, the airfield near Gulnak, and then of course Latashanka itself, which is 250 points. So the objective for sure is just to make our push all across the steppe and get here. So let us look at the victory conditions. Ooh, here we go. So it would be a major defeat if we're at 800 points or less, minor defeat if 900, minor victory if 1,000, and major victory 12,000. This is a pretty tall order, and I'm pretty sure you rack up points by units you defeat as well. So let's look at what we got here. We have our 3rd Infantry Division HQ. His units, if we highlight from up here, highlight organization, these are the units under his command. And that is General Lieutenant Schlome. So we have scout units, pioneers, these guys right here. And it's cool because it shows the stats of these, counters. So it's pretty, get a lot of information you get to look at here. We got 3 infantry units here, 29th Infantry Regiment. And each of them, have 475 units, and they are motorized, so that will make their traveling easier, much quicker, as opposed to just being on foot, because what I remember reading is that most of the German army wasn't even motorized. Like, it may have been like 10% of the entire German forces were motorized, but as the war got on, I think it increased a little bit more. So, I had the history of these guys pulled up somewhere, but anyhow. And then we have the 16th Panzer Division by General Colonel Ube. I remember reading about him back in high school when I wrote my Stalingrad essay paper. It was a pretty big deal. I think he was a veteran in campaigns of Poland, France in 1940. Pretty sure he was a tank commander throughout the entire war, but I could be wrong. And then we have this guy, HQ 295th Infantry Division, and his units are locked. So he is fixed. No, these guys aren't fixed. That guy is fixed. These guys are fixed. So if we disassociate this and click on this icon, we get to see all these highlighted counters to show these units won't be able to move. And if we want to find out when they'll be unlocked to where we can use them, we can look up here. Now it's here somewhere. Oh, duh. Releases. So at 0800, the 295th and the 76 infantry divisions will be unlocked. And every turn in Panzer campaigns is 2 hours. So that means by turn 3, they will be unlocked, I'm pretty sure. So anyhow, without further ado, and you can change a bunch of settings here. Don't know what I did there. There we go. We can do graphical counters, 3D counters. And it shows. But I'll keep this off just so whenever we zoom in, we can kind of get a little more view of the hex that the current units are lying on. If I want a little more detail of the terrain. So the plan is alright everyone, so I had a technical difficulty once again, so I apologize for that abrupt editing right there. I'll try to transition it as smoothly as possible, but basically I didn't have my recording files saved onto the right drive, so it stopped recording when I ran out of space on my original SSD, which is pretty much full at this point. But anyhow, now that I figured out that technical difficulty, I will just briefly cover what I had planned, which is where we cut off. So my plan, as you can see the results of, I had moved elements of my pretty much the entirety of my 14th Panzer Division over here. I'm slowly moving the HQ of General Ube over here. And I got some units positioned, getting them slowly set up here for an attack on the State Farm. And with these guys, they're going to initiate action on these 2 Russian Soviet positions. And I did some recon, aerial recon, and discovered these areas. Don't know who is there or what, but they discovered some fortified, as you can see, trenches, fortifications there. And I did some scouting over here with my motorcycle unit, scouting unit, and they got shot at one time, I think, and lost 9 men. So I'm keeping them right here so they can regroup a bit, rest, and then I'll save them for later, because as of now, it's just going to be fortifications we have to break through. So my plan is to move the 16th Panzer Division, break them through here, and if possible, maybe encircle these guys, wipe them out, and have another set of units come over to the north and help encircle these guys right here and wipe them out. Then 16th Panzer Division will continue on toward Dmitrievka and on to Novoalexievsky. I think I pronounced that right. Alexeyevsky, yes. And I don't want to go through here toward in this lowlands area, this little valley, as you can see, as the um, elevation drops. So it's a valley and it's surrounded by these hills. I don't want to take them through there. I feel like I don't know, I don't trust it. So I'm going to have them come through here. That doesn't mean there won't be any opposition on this hill, but at least there'll be even ground to fight through and they will be completely surrounded by possibility of artillery or whatever as they go through these roads, passing Rasoshka. And so I'm going to have 16th Panzer Division just come through here and then over here and then maybe take this airfield, hopefully. And then 3rd Infantry Division, and then whenever elements of the, can't remember who they are. Let's see, let me unlock. The 295th Infantry Division, and there's another one too, 76th Infantry Division. I'll just have them concentrate towards Borodin State Farm. And I don't know if I want to mess with this area at all. I feel like I just want to break through and then have some elements, some units encircle these guys if I have the expense, if I have the availability, and not wear out my units too much. So I have to be very careful about the supply line. We got the basic supply line right here. That's a source, I think. And I need to keep that open on these main roads. I'm going to go through the manual more later today, and especially when we get to second turn, we'll continue that. But I think as of now, this turn was pretty much completed. I had considered all my units. I've moved some of my pioneer units and artillery units that were just kind of out here and not really useful, especially with these artillery pieces that were horse lumbered. They don't have the range to reach any of these fortifications, and I really want to soften these guys up before committing a full-scale assault with my infantry and panzer divisions. So that's pretty much the plan. Just kind of go through the south here and through the center to Borodin State and Kuzmichi. And then when we take these two, and if we have the time, I'll take Karachi, but then force our way over to Latashanka. But I don't know what kind of opposition we'll meet, especially here in Gorozish, if I'm pronouncing that right. So it's going to get heavier, though, as we get closer and closer to Stalingrad. So I am excited. My units are set in position, and we will continue this video later. Like, I don't want these videos to be too long either. I don't want to just have an hour session of, I kind of want to condense this as much as possible, you know, but I hope to people who are new to this kind of genre of games enjoy it, and I encourage you to look up other YouTubers who play these sorts of games, especially by Wargame Design Studio, because they are incredible. I mean, the amount of history, research that goes into these games is something I've never seen before. And there's a lot you can do. And for me, the role-playing aspect is so worthwhile because, especially on the larger campaigns, and I can show you that. Let me just give you guys a look. So let me find one by length, and let me go down. So like Operation Uranus, this one is 306 turns, so let me just do that, keep it manual so that no turns are initiated. And you could just see how massive these maps can get. See? So here's the Stalingrad front when the Russians broke through this Don sector. And see here where we were earlier. Let me find it. Here we go. This is where we are in that current scenario. And if I remember correctly, the Russians broke through and completely got through here, and that's how they encircled the German Sixth Army and their allies, the Italians, Romanians, Hungarians, and not to mention units, some regiments here and there, Croatian, Slovakian. Bunch of people were involved in this battle, and they were just annihilated by early 1943. Just an absolute nightmare. But my point is that when I deactivate this, you just have so much to consider. So much. Like, a lot to think about, a lot to have fun with. Now, this is 306 turns. In my mind, I'm thinking this game will take a year to get through easily, if not like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months if you're really, really dedicated. Probably shorter than that. I'm sure there are guys who have beat these kind of campaigns in shorter time that are out there, but this is my point. Like, these games are just beautiful. It's insane. It's impeccable. See, we got the elements of the Romanian. Don't know if that's the 4th Army or 3rd. Let me see if I can find out. General Dragalina HQ. But then, so we got units like that. And, I mean, as you can just see, goes on. And nice little feature here is the jump map. So this rectangle symbolizes where I am. And we can jump around here. So that makes it easier. That way you don't have to drag the mouse all day. But it's just incredible. It is incredible. I'm trying to figure out, because in my family background, I had a member that was part of the Hungarian Second Army, and we don't know what happened to him. He just, like so many other guys who fought in this theater, just disappeared, froze to death, captured, who knows, killed in action. A lot of men on both sides just, I don't know, their fate is unknown. But I'm trying to thought the Second Army, maybe they were already destroyed at this point, because I think the Hungarian Second Army was stationed north of Stalingrad. I don't know if they were along the Don River, or did they get as far out as the Volga near Dubovka. I'll have to look, and I'll correct that later if I am mistaken. But if it is, well, it's only November 42, okay, so they wouldn't be destroyed yet. So, but this is when things really start to happen. Anyhow, hope you enjoy the video. Y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you on the next video.